Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about propagation. Before I do, I kind of wanted to give a little update on this pitcher plant. If you've seen in my other video, my plant tour, I showed that this plant right here got literally eaten to the core, but now it has recovered and it is shooting little babies on the sides. So if anything happens to your plants, just try to keep them and usually they'll recover. So the plants that I'll be using to propagate are my Marston's dragons, the bonatas, they're sundews. I was pollinating some flower stalks earlier, but something laid some eggs on one of the flower stalks and I already pollinated the flowers, but if I was gonna wait for the seeds to develop, I also would have been waiting for those eggs to hatch and I didn't want to risk anything. So luckily they put up other flower stalks again soon after, so I'm going to propagate them this time before they bloom. This is the smaller one. Down there has a bigger flower stalk, but I will be showing how to propagate them. This was a seed germination kit that I bought a while ago, but now it's going to be a propagation dome. Inside I blended up some long fiber sphagnum moss, and I think it helps with like making sure the flower stalks are in contact with this. But it's just plain long fiber sphagnum, just blended up. That's what we'll be using as our substrate. We'll start with this flower right about here. I'm just gonna snip them off for right now, but then I'll show you how I slice and dice these little guys up. So there's one. This is the bigger one. I wanted to get this one before it was ready to bloom. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it hasn't bloomed yet, but now is a good time to snip this guy off right here. Watch, ready for snip. Oh, that flew a little far. So now that I snipped off what I will be using, before I do though, I'm going to use my little peroxide and water mixture. It's mostly water, just I used maybe like less than a teaspoon of peroxide in it, just to sanitize a little bit, you know, to make sure that everything is sanitized and clean. Just give a little good mist. I'm gonna just get some normal distilled water, spray a little bit of that in there to get the peroxide washed down into the bottom, so whenever the flower stalks start rooting, it'll prevent problems. But this kind of just helps make sure that, you know, less rot occurs. So here's the little flower stalk. This is the smaller one that I'm gonna start with. It's best to kind of cut at an angle right here, like so. Right here, snip that off. I'm gonna cut this one like right around here, snip that off. So here is the flower stalk cut at the angles. This one I'm probably only gonna split in half. I'm gonna snip this at an angle. Right, so that's what I have right there. And then I'm just gonna tuck this in here. This other one right here, just gonna tuck next to it. This one, I'm gonna snip right around, you see that? Right around there. So then you just have the stem. Try to get more like in the center. I feel like that's where more of the energy is at, like around right here where it's green, like an angle right there. Snip. So then I'm just gonna cut this up real quick and then I will press some in there. All you need to make sure is that both ends of the stems are in contact with the substrate so it stays moist. If you don't, it'll most likely brown. Just make sure that some of the middle part is exposed to the light so it could still get the light that it needs, but also it stays wet. You just need to make sure that this is moist. I'm gonna give it a little spray with some distilled water. I like to make sure mine is like pretty much full. Make sure that the top stays moist. Like, see that right there? I'm just gonna press it in. This isn't a perfect process. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some will strike, some won't, but it's just the way it goes. You don't have to blend up your sphagnum if you don't want to. It's not a necessity, but I think it might help a little more. These will be put under my grow light and my grow tent inside. Since these sundews can experience a dormancy, I will put the main plants through dormancy, but I will skip dormancy with these because obviously I just need to get some more going. Those two were one plant. They only divided once this year, so propagation kind of helps you get a little more out of one plant without having to wait for the seeds to develop. Hopefully they'll spark by next year and then I'll have some more plants. It'll take up to like maybe 3 months to actually see any growth or anything, at least, but just keep it moist. I'm gonna put the dome back on. I made some extra holes to have some airflow, but also keep it like humid. You could put it in a Ziploc bag if you had like a little pot, but since I have like a good amount, I'm gonna put them in this for now and then repot them next year in spring. Maybe like early March, hopefully they'll have some little babies and then I'll repot them and then have some more plants. Patience is key with this. Just like waiting for seeds and pollinating, these will take some time to actually get some growth going. Just keep checking on them. Make sure there's no mold or anything that's growing inside, because sometimes if the flower stalks don't get enough moisture, they'll either dry out or they'll start browning and then mold will start to appear. But I'll keep you updated. But for the next video, I will be doing the unpotting of my plants for dormancy. I do the fridge method. It works for me. Don't forget dormancy though. It's very important if you want your plants to grow bigger and stronger next year. The next video will be part 3 of growing temperate carnivorous plants. So that'll probably be like early November for me, but I will be posting a video on that. So hope to see you guys then. Take care. Happy growing. Peace.